The No Fake channel, checking in. And in honor of hitting 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, I am finally going to do a full and complete home gym tour along with all of the pricing. Come on in and let's get started. If this is your first time to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. As a father of two, I'm just trying to be a great parent to my kids, but also accomplish my own personal goals. And this channel really reflects that. I personally find that when times get tough and chaotic, we lose sight of our goals, our objectives, the things that we want to accomplish in life. And this channel is really about trying to bring me back to where I need to be. And I try to create videos that are informative and videos that frankly are videos that I want to see that answer the questions that I have on a whole multitude of different topics. Today we're talking about my home gym. Now this gym has been a work of creation over the past 10 years. It was a real slow to get started, and when I started having children, of course, this home gym picked up slightly because it became tougher to go down to my local gym and get a workout in because of the time constraints. And clearly, when the V hit, oh man, you couldn't go to the gym anyway, and this gym really blossomed. But before we get started, I want to know, comment below your favorite must-have piece of home gym equipment. I find that for everyone, it tends to be a little bit different, but I'm curious if I do see a trend. I'm so grateful to have hit 5,000 subscribers. I'm so thankful for all of you for hitting that subscribe button and joining this journey. But I think it's so important to not forget where you came from, where you started, how you started. So in honor of that, I've got two little small stories to tell you. First, the first piece of home gym equipment I ever got 12 years ago was this Bosu ball from my girlfriend, now wife. And this thing has held up and stood the test of time. This thing still gets used today. I use it probably every couple days. And if you've followed my channel for a while, you know, a couple months ago, I fell down the basement stairs and sprained my ankle severely. And I've still been using this regularly to rehab that ankle. This thing at the time, I believe, was about $100 12 years ago. I think you can still pick this up for even under $100 today. But certainly where I started, when I finally hit 50 subscribers, and it took a while, believe me, I decided to go out and get myself a poster to help motivate me and keep me going at 50 subscribers. And frankly, at 50 subscribers, you need all the motivation you can get. I still, at that time, couldn't get my mom to hit the subscribe button. So I went out and I got this poster and I took it around to like obstacle course races, half marathons, all the places that I was going to shoot videos and stuff like that to kind of help me, motivate me, and as a way to congratulate myself for hitting 5,000 subscribers and as a way of upgrading this poster, I went out to Production Identification Company. I went out and got the best posters made up. And I figured I should open them up here in front of you so you can see what we're rocking with. Now, I did wait until 5,000 subscribers to open these bad boys up. And even though these are an upgrade to this sad Sally back here, this one is not going away because, again, we need to stay humble and it's important to know where you came from. Get a load of that, huh? Get a load of that. It just feels so good in the hand. Oh, feels so good in the hand. Let me show you the other one. For those of you who are new, or for those of you who never make it to the end of my videos, I always finish off every video telling you, don't save it for the trip back. In life, time is so short, and I know it's a cliche thing to say, but it is so true. And I want you, and myself included, to make sure that you're not waiting. You're not waiting for someday. I've often told this to other people, someday is code for never. If you find yourself telling people that someday you're going to take that trip, someday you're going to do that thing, you're going to start that channel, you're going to be motivated, you're going to sign up for that race. No, don't lie to yourself. Do it today.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go through the meat and potatoes of any home gym, and that is how you bench. For many of you out there with the home gym equipment already, you probably have a rack. I know there's so many different shapes and sizes on racks. And frankly, I may move towards a rack in the future. I just have to find one with the right dimensions and frame and color. But what I have been benching on for well over 6 years are these generic Amazon squat stand things. And they've been getting the job done, largely because, frankly, I'm not that strong. There, I said it. I probably couldn't even impress a prepubescent girl with my max bench press. I will say one of the nice things about these things, aside from only costing about $100, and frankly, you do get what you pay for, but you can move them around quite easily. So if you are tight on space, you can kind of put them together and kitty corner them, and then when you do want to bench, you can kind of mosey them out and set them up how you want. They've been getting the job done for me, and knock on wood, I haven't had any casualties with respect to these. Basically, the safeties are these little platforms here, and they've been getting the job done. As far as what I bench on, up until this year, I had benched on a Bowflex 3.1, a fairly cheap, I think $150 at the time, adjustable bench that, listen, got the job done for my wife and I for quite a while. And only this year I decided to upgrade because it finally came in stock. I ended up going with a Rep Fitness AB 3100. It's still considered a budget adjustable bench, but I think I got a good value for it. I did a whole video on it. This black beauty right here is a Rep Fitness Saber bar with a zinc coating, coming in at $220 delivered. I will say they recently, after I purchased this about 4 months ago, raised their prices like everything when it comes to home gym equipment. Their prices are higher now, but this is still what I perceive to be a great value bar. Why do I call it a good value bar? You can get a bar for like $100 if you can find them in stock. They're going to get the job done. You're going to be happy with them with respect to a good starter bar. But you can also go the other end. You can go crazy, spend $350, $500 on a bar. And for many of us, at least people like me, let's face it, you're not that strong. Okay, this bar can hold 1,000 pounds, probably 800 pounds more than I need it to, because I don't bench that heavy and I don't do anything that heavy, to be fair. So I got this bar really as an upgrade because I wanted a little bit nicer knurling, and I wanted something that was just nice and new. Hey, we all want new shiny things. The nice thing about buying any bar, especially the higher end bars or even this value bar right here, which is a great multi-purpose bar, is that it's going to last forever. There's no real moving pieces on here aside from the ends here, but there's not much to break, and frankly, if you keep it in a home gym, it's not going to get nearly as much use as a local gym. So which bar did this replace? This replaced a Christmas gift that is now going on 7 years now, 6 or 7 years. And that's a large theme with respect to my home gym. Most of the pieces, as you'll see, are just birthday and Christmas gifts that just added up over the years. I think so many people think that they have to hit a button and buy like $7,000 or $8,000 worth of home gym equipment. But if you're just starting out, don't feel bad, because those pieces of equipment add up very, very quickly. Sometimes in life, you don't get the things you want. You get the things you need. And that's what this Easy Curl bar is all about. I got this as a birthday gift about 8 years back now, and it is still, as you can imagine with regards to most of my home gym equipment, held up, still doing the thing, still acting the same way it was when I first got it. Don't know how much it costs, don't even know what they charge now. And do you really need an Easy Curl bar for your home gym? Hell yeah, you do. I mean, curls for the girls, right? Listen, every day is bicep day around here. Love my bicep Easy Curl bar. It's easier on the wrist. You can do skull crushes. You can do bent over rows. Most importantly, you can do curls with it. By far the most important and probably the most underrated auxiliary bar is your hex bar, also known as a trap bar. It comes in other different names to it, but you guys get the idea. You've probably seen one of these in your local gym. This thing is awesome, and I've got this 3 years ago as a present, like most of the stuff in my home gym, and I will say that it has been used so much. Currently with my workout program now for the past 18 months, I've been using it twice, sometimes 3 times a week, and it's great. It is awesome to replicate, for me, deadlifts. It really dumbs down the deadlift position because your hand, instead of being over the top in a bar, it is almost in like a neutral grip on your sides. It really dumbs down that deadlift motion. I will say this is one of the cheaper versions, and it's still been getting the job done. For me, I get no problem with the length here on this bar. For some people who are super strong, if you're using bumper plates, you might have a problem with it. I think the max weight this thing can hold is 500 pounds. And let's face it, I'm not getting anywhere close to that. One thing I would mention, that if you are going to be getting a hex bar, is to get one with dual handles. What do I mean by that? So as you can see, hopefully, that there's 2 handles here. There's a high handle and a low handle. And personally for me, when I do these deadlifts, I do them on leg day. So I want to really get deep down. I want to get deep. So I want to use the low handle, allowing me to get those, save myself 2 or 3 extra inches in terms of depth. And those 2 or 3 extra inches getting lower is all legs, all legs. And that's why I love this bar for that exercise alone. You can do a ton of other exercises with this thing with respect to shrugs, with respect to farmer's carries, with respect to overhead presses, stuff like that. I just don't, but people love this bar, but frankly, more and more people should be talking about it. They do have versions that are actually rackable if you've got a rack and you want to just one that's easily rackable, stuff like that for convenience. And the last auxiliary bar I want to talk about is this Titan Fitness multi-grip cambered bar, also known as a Swiss bar, also known as like a football bar, because a lot of football players really get a lot of benefit from this bar. And I've had this for over 2 months now, and I've absolutely loved it. Paid $180, got it as a Christmas gift, like many of the pieces of gym equipment in this gym. And what do you do with it? There's a few exercises you can do with respect to bent over rows or overhead press, and it allows you to use different grips. The main reason that people get this, and the only reason that I got it specifically, was for a close grip bench press. So you can really get your hands close on this bench press, but instead of having your hands like a bar position, right, your hands are more in like a practical position by your side. It's a much more natural position, takes a lot of stress off the shoulders, and these different handrails allow you to mimic a close grip bench press, and they allow you to really change up the angles. And because it's cambered, because you get that 2-inch difference here from top to bottom, you can really get deep on that bench and it just drive through. So a lot of football players love this thing because you're putting a lot of effort into almost like coming off a block, just drive through. I've loved this thing. Now they do have a straight version in Titan Fitness that is only like $120, so you save $60. Don't get it. The reason I would say is because I'm really in love with the actual differential between this 2-inch differential makes all the difference when I'm benching, and I'm able to really kind of sink it down onto my chest and get super, super deep and then drive out of that hole. In the home gym community, weighted plates that you choose for your home gym can be quite a controversial topic. One end of the spectrum, you have people making concrete plates, and frankly, they're getting the job done, so good for them. The other end of the spectrum, people are buying super expensive calibrated plates, and I don't really fault them because, hey, if that's your bag, go for it. For me, I tend to be on the cheaper side of things, and I typically go with budget bumper plates for a few reasons. One, the price points per pound tend to be very low, and the accuracy of the weight tends to be pretty good. They're not dead on, but for my lifting needs, I don't need them to be 100% accurate. And when I lift early in the morning, even though I don't do exercises that tend to make a lot of noise, I don't tend to need the plates to be able to bounce or be able to be dropped. I still want to be as quiet as possible, and the bumper plates tend to keep the noise down fairly well. Weightlifting belts. Listen, I probably have at least twice as many belts as you see here. I've picked them up throughout the years of lifting and had them in college and stuff like that, and I've never really sold any of them. I'm not going to bother to go get them all and put them all out for you. Ain't nobody got time for that. I did a whole video breaking down the difference between leather and fabric, between leather belts and Velcro belts. Here's what I will say just very quickly about weightlifting belts. If I'm having a really good lifting day and I'm going heavy, I never touch my weightlifting belts. I only use weightlifting belts when my back is feeling a little bit wonky and I'm going heavy. You really want to use weightlifting belts very little, if not at all, when possible. Typically, weightlifting belts are meant when you are like 90% or above in terms of your max. And they make them in all different shapes and sizes. I will tell you, a lot of people get weightlifting belts thinking that they are going to protect you from a hernia or protect your stomach, and that's not how they work. Weightlifting belts are back support only, and I would just caution people, when you go down that weightlifting belt rabbit hole, they are not the end-all, be-all of protection. And keep in mind, less is more when it comes to a weightlifting belt. Really do your own research, be smart about it, and make sure you're using the belt when it matters. I want to quickly talk about homemade gym equipment. I think 2020 saw the biggest spike ever in people trying to make their own home gym equipment. And frankly, I know a number of people that did a great job and they came out excellent. I have gone down that path a few times in the past, and the only thing that has ever panned out for the long haul has been these parallettes. Now, these are PVC parallettes. They cost probably total, if you don't have any pieces of the equipment at home. They cost probably 25 bucks total to put together. But obviously, once you buy some of the initial pieces, you can actually make like a second pair for like 10 bucks, okay? These things have stood up over 7 years, and I still use them for push-ups and dips and for L-sits. These are a great functional tool. So if you are looking to make your own equipment, by all means, go ahead and attempt it. I will say personally, when I've crunched the numbers and for some of the stuff that I've tried to make, I find that making your own gym equipment just doesn't pan out. It doesn't seem to be worth the time and the energy, especially after you have to buy the pieces. Many people, when they are starting off their home gym, they think that the biggest factor has to do with money. But in the long haul, over 3 to 8 years, it's not about money. It ends up being about the space you have. And I'm really proud of this corner because I think I utilize the space fairly well. This punching bag I got 8 years ago. Someone was giving it away at my home gym. It's about 100 pounds. I got it for free. I invested $100 to get the stand, and I've had a usable heavy bag in my basement for the past 8 years. Now, how often do I use it? I would be lying to you if I said I used it more than once every 4 months. Few reasons. The punching bag tends to lead to a lot of bad habits if you're just wailing away on the punching bag. People hit the punching bag, next thing you know, they're just throwing haymakers, and when you do that, you're not moving your feet, you're not actually getting a good cardio workout in, and when you're just throwing haymakers for the sake of it, you're getting wild. When you're wiling out, you end up landing your punches incorrectly, and you can jack up your wrist or your knuckles. It is a fun thing to have, and I am glad that I have it. I don't think I'm going to be getting rid of it anytime soon, especially because it fits so nicely in this kitty corner. Now, moving over here, you can see I've got a whole medicine ball stand. And I'm a big fan of building up when it comes to home gyms. Again, a lot of times we think about floor space, but then we fail to utilize all the space above our heads. And if you've got a tight spot, you really need to get the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to space, and that means building up. Now, over to my left, I've got a few quotes and motivational posters that I happen to find enjoyable. I know a lot of hardos out there are going to tell you, you shouldn't need motivation to work out, yada, 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 yada. I get it. You're tough. You're way tougher than I am. For me, I need as much motivation as I can get. And frankly, I think a lot of effort should be put into building a great home gym environment with respect to airflow, lighting, and home gym posters. And probably the number one thing you can get for a home gym that is going to add a crazy amount of diversity, flexibility, and options into your training, but take up the least amount of space are interchangeable dumbbells. Now, these are power blocks. I did a whole video on them. The standard ones that you get go up to 50 pounds. I ended up buying 2 extra additions that go up to 90 pounds. So I can get these things up to 90 pounds. In terms of when I bought them, that was before the V took over. I actually have had these power blocks now for 3 years, and I had the additions on them for like a year and a half now. So the price points that I paid are probably well under what is now market price. I would still say they are worth it. Now, I haven't tried the other versions of interchangeable dumbbells out there. I've been so happy with these. I probably use these I don't know how many times a week I use these. I probably use these 5 to 6 times a week in my workouts, multiple exercises, multiple sets, and again, they've held up. The only thing I would say is you can't drop them like you would a local gym dumbbell. But let's be honest with you, you shouldn't be dropping a local gym dumbbell anyway. That's just kind of rude. I will say, in terms of the stand, I only got the stand last year in early 2020 before the V hit. I know a lot of this home gym equipment, that's the major theme. The stand is something I didn't think I needed, but once I got it, I wish I'd gotten it sooner. Super convenient, makes it easier to do circuits in terms of drop sets, stuff like that. I am a massive fan of kettlebells, as you can probably see. I think not only do they add an excellent level of functional training, I think there's a high level of versatility that you can do with them. And frankly, you can do a lot of your day-to-day exercises with kettlebells. Now, if you can see closely, I actually have pairs of all the kettlebells that I have because I largely use these on leg day for lunges, for front squats, for box step-ups and stuff like that. And I often do these as well with circuit training for, kettlebell deadlifts, some cleans and stuff like that. Because of the overhead room that I have, I usually don't do kettlebell swings with my kettlebells, but I can't say enough great things about kettlebells. I will say I bought all of these off of Amazon. These are all Yes for All and Amazon Basics. I bought these in 2020. And I put an order in and ended up having to wait like 2 to 3 months for some of these. But I would say I think in 2021 we're seeing a lot more inventory come in, a lot less shortages. And I'll put the price points on some of the ones that I've paid here. Frankly, kettlebells are really cost effective, especially if you go budget like I did. I know these aren't the best quality, but for my personal dad uses on like lunges and front squats, nothing that I'm going to notice in terms of good quality versus bad quality. Also down here we've got some used gym dumbbells. These are 95s, and I just picked these up a couple months ago. I paid $1.40 per pound, give or take. I have a whole video on it off of Facebook Marketplace. I think one of the nice things about 2021, if you want to take a positive away from it, is going to be that as people get home gym equipment, you're going to see the used market come back to normal. Now over here we have sandbags. I've got 3 sandbags. They're all different weights, but frankly, I really could get away with just using one. One of these was given to me a year ago by a buddy, and the other 2 I ended up picking up because the first one was frankly too heavy. Oftentimes with sandbags, we let our stomach is big, our eyes are bigger than our stomach. We think we need a heavier sandbag than is really practical, and I would argue that less is more when it comes to a sandbag, especially for your functional training. Moving over to the battle rope. We all seen the rock those battle ropes. I will say that battle ropes are one of those things that people don't often think of when it comes to home gyms because they think they don't have the space. But you can buy a 30-foot battle rope, you split it in 2, and now it's only 15 feet long. I actually tend to lean towards the thicker handles on the shorter battle ropes. I feel it gives you the best bang for your buck. That one cost like under $100. It's from Iron Bull. I'll put the link in the description, but I use this thing probably once every 2 weeks, and it is awesome. There's so many different exercises that you can do with the battle rope. Now over here we've got medicine balls and slam balls. The medicine balls I got as a birthday gift, and again, many people think of home gyms as, kind of hitting that buy it now button on some massive $10,000 piece of home gym equipment. But the most of the stuff I have in this home gym was given to me on Christmas and birthdays that I've just asked for through the years. So if you have nothing for a home gym, don't be afraid to start your home gym. We all have to start somewhere, and you'd be surprised how quickly your home gym can build itself just by buying a few items every year and then asking for items on Christmas and birthday. It should come as no surprise that the biggest piece of home gym equipment I have is also the most expensive. This Titan Fitness functional trainer cost $2,000. Yeah, it's tough to say, and frankly, it's an even tougher pill to swallow. But in 2020, my wife and I realized that even though the gyms in Massachusetts here in the United States were open, we were never ever going to be going back to our local gyms for a few reasons, and I want to touch upon them just real quick. Number one, the V. Okay, we know that the V's out there, and frankly, hopefully by the time you're watching this, it's a funny, laughable thing, a thing of the past. But in 2020, the V was in full effect, and frankly, it's only gotten worse, and hopefully we're at the tipping point where it's going to start to get better. But we just didn't want to go back to our local gyms and expose ourselves, even though personally, I know that the local gyms in my area are doing everything that they can to be clean and safe, and probably cleaner and safer than they've ever been before the V came out. But the other main reason that I know we're not going to go back to local gyms is time. Time is so precious, so difficult to get, and frankly, we're not getting any more of it. That with the kids' schedule, with our work schedule, and with so many other hectic things going on, that the trip to the gym and the trip home from the gym, sometimes that's all you have in terms of being able to work out. So we wanted to replace the local gym, and the number one thing that was missing for our home gym, besides a leg press, that might be next, is this Titan Fitness functional trainer to give you the cable exercises that you know and love in a local gym. And it's delivered. It's delivered on everything that I've wanted from it. And frankly, the good news is I'm not that strong, so I haven't really pinned out any of the exercises, any of the back exercises that I do on this thing. And I've just been happy over the past 5 months with this purchase, even though it was $2,000. Another thing that was nice about this, it comes with a pull-up bar. Even though I had one, if you didn't already have a pull-up bar, that's something that would be nice, because frankly, I think that's the number one thing you should probably get in your home gym is a pull-up bar. Beyond telling you that you should get horse stall mats for your home gym flooring, I want to give you a few bullet points. If you do buy used, certainly you should be paying at least 50% below the new price, because you are going to have to put a lot of effort into actually getting them clean, getting them disinfected. 2, if you're going to buy more than 1 or 2 horse stall mats, you should do some research into which style you get. If you go down to your local Tractor Supply store, they're probably only going to have one style in stock, and that's the only one you're going to be able to get. If you go online and you're going to buy a few of these things, you can actually get different styles. They're all usually 4x6, they're all usually black, but they actually have different style tops and different style bottoms. And you want to do your research to figure out which one's going to be right for you and which one's probably going to give you the best airflow underneath the mat to help prevent moisture from building up underneath your mat. And then last thing I would say is if you're going to buy a lot of these horse stall mats, certainly consider having them delivered, because the price to have them delivered is probably super small compared to the effort you're going to have to go through to go out and get them and then bring them home. Another thing that often I feel goes by the wayside when it comes to home gyms is lighting. Now, I know there's tons of people out there getting crazy, amazing, hardcore workouts in just dark, dank dungeons. Good for you. But I personally know that a good lighted area certainly changes my mood, especially where many of us are working out early in the morning, the sun's not up, or conversely, we're working out super late at night and the sun's still not up. And before, when I first started this home gym, the lighting down here was horrible. It was those generic 60-watt soft light bulbs, and there just wasn't enough light, and it just wasn't really good mood. Again, I know we think of home gyms, we don't think of getting in the right mood, but hey, it's the truth. So the first thing that I did, and probably the cheapest thing I did, was to change all of the 60-watt generic soft lights to 100-watt energy efficient daylight bulbs. Now these are super cheap, pack of 4 cost like $15, and boom, it makes a massive, massive difference. I then kind of went down a rabbit's hole of trying to, again, improve the lighting because I don't have a lot of fixtures and there's just a lot of dark corners on this gym. So what I did is, for like $3, you can get this little four-way adapter that fits in every type of light bulb. They use these for garages and stuff like that, but essentially I got 2 of these in order to expand the amount of light. And because these are energy efficient bulbs and they are daylight bulbs, you're not going to really be using more juice than the socket can handle. Also, it's going to throw off a ton of positive light. Something about those daylight bulbs really just kind of like, I don't know, they wake me up, they get me going, and again, they put me in the right mood. And there's a lot of other lighting situations you can do to improve, but I found these to be the most effective at the lowest cost. And certainly if you want to go all the way down the rabbit's hole, you certainly can, and I think that comes with a higher cost. But I would argue that if you haven't thought of your lighting in your home gym, you probably should, because if you can change your mood, you might be enjoying your workouts that much more. So here's the cardio section of my home gym, and yes, I do feel fortunate to have a whole section of cardio equipment at my home gym. Now, the first piece that was picked up about 5 or 6 years ago now, maybe 5, was that Nordic Track treadmill. A relative was getting rid of it and asked if we wanted it. So of course, you know, if it's free, it's for me. So I picked it up, we lubed up the slides, and this thing runs great. My wife still runs on this thing probably 2 or 3 times a week and loves it. Now, the next piece of equipment I picked up before the the end of 2019, was this Cybex Arc Trainer. My wife and I had been on the lookout for one because we like the ones at our local gym, but unfortunately they're like $2,000 plus, brand new, for even the cheaper models. Now this is an older one that I was able to pick up off of Facebook Marketplace for $450. Now the most expensive piece of cardio equipment I have is this Rogue Echo bike. It was $775, and it was a gift for my birthday to me, from me. And I'm a big fan of this bike. I've been using it every day, if not twice a day, since I got it 3 months ago, and it has delivered on everything that I wanted. It is a great way to jack up your metabolism in a short amount of time, and it's almost difficult to take it easy on this Echo bike. I got a full breakdown video. I'm not going to go into details. It's an assault bike. It's amazing, and it's certainly expensive, but I happen to think it's certainly worth it for the use that I'm getting out of it. If you have been a longtime subscriber to this channel, or frankly, if you've just been a subscriber, period, you know I love my weighted vests. If you're not a subscriber, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. I honestly use weighted vests 4 days a week. 4 days a week, the weighted vest gets rolled out for something. Now, I've got 7 different weighted vests, and I'm going to go through some of them, but I'm not going to bother to roll them out. Weighted vests, if you don't know, are just vests that add weight to your workouts, but they go really beyond that common definition. You can use them to really add a high level of versatility and functionality to your standard push-up, pull-up, burpee, air squat, running, lunges. It's a great way if you're building out a home gym to get some extra weight in-house to add to your normal routine without incurring a lot of the extra cost that it comes with getting a new piece of equipment or getting a whole bunch more weight. And I find them to be very, very fun, practical, and just interesting. They keep these workouts interesting by slapping them on. Now, I have a bunch. Why do I have a bunch? Well, as you go through, most of them have been gifts. I got one for my wife. Gentlemen, that's a great way to extend and expand your own home gym, is to get workout equipment for your wife. Pro tip. But they range in weight. Every one that I have has really ranges in weight, everything from 15 pounds up to like 35, where I've got like double plates stacked in. How many weighted vests do you need? Frankly, you only need one. I am certainly a massive fan of weighted vests. In fact, I'm a huge proponent of everyone who has a home gym getting a weighted vest, because I think once you have it in-house, you're going to find that you're using it a lot more than you realize. Now, this only comes in at $50 in terms of what it costs me to put it together. I will say, frankly, you don't have to spend that much money. Now, when you do spend more money on weighted vests, you tend to get more accuracy in the weight, you tend to get more comfort in how it feels, and you tend to get a better fit overall. So depending on how much you expect to be using this, don't feel like you need to shy away from spending more money, but know that you can get in the door at $50. And frankly, the ones that are crazy, crazy expensive that might have, a Rogue insignia right around here might be more than you need. And frankly, the Rogue insignia that I made is pretty cool, and it doesn't cost that much. Hopefully you found the review of my home gym informative. Hopefully it gave you just a few ideas on ways to improve your own home gym. Now listen, if you have any questions on what I discussed today or what I went over, please drop them in the comments below, and in the description I'm going to put links and details to everything we touched upon. Now if you came this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like and certainly hit that subscribe button. We passed 5,000 subscribers, and hell, we're headed on to 10. Thank you all so much, and as usual, thank you for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.
This channel is dedicated to my life as a father of 2 wonderful children, and it centers around health, fitness, and all of the tricks and tribulations that I go through to try to be a great parent to my children and still accomplish my own personal goals.